We're at the home stretch, everybody. We're at the home stretch. Hello, welcome to The Wild Review. I'm The Wild Reviewer, and welcome to day 4 of 12 wild Christmas review days. This is it, folks. This is it. We're out of the McAllister world. I mean, to be fair, that Kevin McAllister isn't even in this film, but there is a McAllister. There is connection. Finally, that's right, we have our very first Home Alone film that focuses on somebody completely different but has some sort of connection to the original films, because Disney was behind it. This chair is definitely broken. This is Home Sweet Home Alone. Released in 2021, hey, that was last year! A down-on-their-luck married couple are selling their house as they are short of money. They learn, however, that one of their vintage dolls is worth a lot of money, and they hope when it's sold they can keep their home and get back on their feet. However, the doll goes missing, and they believe it was taken by a troublemaking 10-year-old named Max Mercer, who, oddly enough, is left behind as his family gets on a plane and travels to Tokyo, Japan for Christmas. The couple does some thinking, and rather than approaching the kid and asking him for the doll back politely, they decide to break into his home and take the doll back. But Max comes up with a plan to stop these burglars. You ever wonder what Home Alone would be like if we focused on Marv and Harry? Like, do you ever wonder, what's their story? You think it would be interesting to focus on them instead of Kevin? Like, what if Kevin was the side character in this story, and Marv and Harry were the ones that we're supposed to be feeling for, and, you know, we learn and understand their background? You ever wonder how you would feel? You might feel two different ways. Because technically, Marv and Harry are main characters of Home Alone. They're the antagonists, of course. The main focus is on Kevin. But we spend so much time with Kevin, who is the real main protagonist, that we're supposed to feel bad for him when certain situations happen. And with Marv and Harry, it's not necessarily that we are supposed to hate them, but we hate/love them because they're idiots. And that's kind of been a recurring thing with all of these antagonists, the people that are breaking into the home in these films. Marv and Harry are complete idiots. The spies are very intelligent and also really cool characters, but they themselves are very dumb when it comes to Alex's traps. Marv, like I've hinted before, is the best character in Home Alone 4. He hasn't changed at all despite having a different face, and his wife Vera is no better. She's just a female Harry. And the art thieves in Home Alone 5 weren't smart either. They were supposed to be the way they were because it's Home Alone. In a sense, they're supposed to be the way they are because they are the enemy in the films. We do get little backstories in regards to these characters who break into the house, and there is a little part of us that when we see and hear their stories, we are supposed to understand why they are doing it, whether it is the right thing to do or the wrong thing to do. But in the end, they are the enemy. They are the people that are supposed to not win in the end. You're not supposed to be rooting for them. What you're supposed to do in these films specifically is laugh at their stupidity because they're being outsmarted by a child. Home Sweet Home Alone does exactly that, but in an extremely different way. First off, in terms of who is the main character in Home Sweet Home Alone, we are fed to believe that Max is the main character. But we all know that the married couple are the true main characters. With that said, we spend a lot more time with this married couple than we do with Max. I mean, we spend a good amount of time with Max, but I remember more about this couple and their troubles than I remember Max. I mean, Max, for the most part, is only left behind because he spends the night in his garage in the family car, which they don't end up taking to the airport. Max then discovers he's home alone, and then he does what every kid in these Home Alone films have done, which is run around having fun, enjoying the fact that they are no longer under the supervision of adults. And then I think Max got tired. I remember he was in a church, and then he just starts bullying the crap out of this poor couple. Which leads into the next bit. I didn't want to just jump right there, but holy Christ, Max is the true enemy in this film. It's important that the enemies are established characters and you do get a little sense of who they are, but when it comes to who you're supposed to root for, again, we are supposed to be rooting for the kid because the adults are the idiots in these films. In this film, the adults are not idiots. They are an unlucky couple who are on the verge of losing their home. They don't have much money. They are trying to survive. This is very different from Marv and Harry, who are just going to steal money. Or the spies who need a microchip out of a remote-controlled car so they can do something evil. Or the art thieves who are physically stealing something out of somebody's home. This couple is just really unlucky. And they want something back that they think this troublemaking kid, who actually is a really big troublemaker, he's even annoying at some times, they just want something back from him, and I don't understand why they just don't approach him and say, hey, do you have this doll? Did you take this doll? We need it back. No, they go full-on ballistic and break into this home. And the things Max does to them, holy crap. I mean, we spend enough time with Marv and Harry when they get injured in Home Alone, but we spend too much time with this couple in this film to the point where we are starting to feel bad for them. Like, we're not supposed to be doing that in Home Alone, especially when the advertisements make it seem like Max is supposed to be the one that comes out as the winner in the end. Like, we're supposed to be rooting for Max. So when we see this couple get electrocuted and fall into a pool when it's covered in snow and ice, and we see them harm each other, like we're not supposed to be feeling bad for them, but because the story has led us to feel bad for them, it makes us just want to hate Max, which isn't supposed to happen. The whole thing also feels like a complete waste of time because it turns out, spoiler, Max doesn't even have the doll. The couple was having an open house at the beginning of the film because they are selling their house. Kenan Thompson was in this film. He is the best thing in this film. I just wanted to put that out there. I love Kenan Thompson. He can be in a bad film and be the best thing in it, honestly. But Max and his mom end up going to the house because I believe Max was the one that had to go to the bathroom, and they pretend that they're looking around, so this way they're just not perceived as people that just entered to use the bathroom. But Max looks at the doll, and that's the whole reason why Max was even accused of taking it, because he looked at the doll, he made a comment about it, and the guy was just like, oh, I think that kid has it. I remember I saw him looking at it and making a comment about it. But he didn't have it. They could have both saved their body from being heavily bruised if they just asked Max if he had the doll. But we can't do that because then there can't be a film and we can't laugh at the slapstick. Haha, look at these people falling. Those poor people. So where was the doll, you might be wondering? Some extended family came to stay with them over the holidays as they are selling their house. And turns out one of the kids in the family had it. They just took the doll and they've just been holding on to it. They've just been holding on to it this whole entire time. Great. I guess I should talk about the McAllister bit now because I did hint that there is a McAllister reference in this. So Buzz, out of every character, is in the film. Home Sweet Home Alone is the only film in this series that has been confirmed to have been connected to both Home Alone 1 and 2. Home Alone 4 is not a film that has necessarily been connected to the original 2, despite it being the same characters, but there's just no mentioning of Home Alone 4 at all, so it's not exactly canon to the McAllister story, I guess. But Buzz is a cop in this film, and he references how his family left Kevin home alone one year, and Buzz doesn't believe that a child was actually left home alone because Kevin is always prank calling him saying, oh, you left me home alone, and I was genuinely surprised to see Buzz in this film. I don't know what else to say other than Home Sweet Home Alone could stay home alone. I did not enjoy it like Disney thought I would have enjoyed it. Enjoyed it. That's not a word. Enjoyed it. I did not enjoy it. With that being said, that's all I gotta say on Home Sweet Home Alone. I have nothing else to say about this film other than it was just a complete waste of time. It wasn't needed at all. And I guess if there's anything that I did enjoy about it was Buzz, definitely. There were some bits that were funny. Kenan Thompson is great. I think I would have definitely enjoyed it more if this was like an opposite Home Alone, where the couple was the real main focus and we were supposed to feel bad for them, and Max was seen as the antagonist in the film, which is essentially what it's displayed as, but because of all the promotions and the poster, I mean, how are we supposed to root for the main character, who is the main face of this film, when he just acts like a complete naughty work? I can't think of the word. Bad kid? That doesn't sound right at all. Whatever the case is, that's all I have to say on Home Sweet Home Alone, and that's it for the Home Alone films. That's all I have to say on the Home Alone franchise. I sure hope we never get any more Home Alone films. Well, that's it for the Home Alone series, and I guess that's it for this series. That's the whole reason why I was even doing this series, right? No! We have finished day 4, but there are still 8 days that we have until Christmas. That was a weird coincidence. I didn't intend to do that at all. There may not be any more Home Alone films, but there sure are a bunch of other Christmas films that I didn't get to talk about last time. Specifically, a film that I should have talked about, but I didn't, because I didn't have time to watch it. Also, I didn't have access to watch it, and it was really late into production. What film is that exactly? Well, I can tell you it's a remake of a very popular Christmas story, but you're gonna have to come back tomorrow to hear me talk about it. Or you can just wait until the end of the video and you can see the photo I'm gonna put up, which will basically tell you I'm talking about the reboot of Miracle on 34th Street. With that being said, that's all I have for today. Thank you for watching, and if you have any comments about these Home Alone films, I'd love to hear them in the comments below. Thanks again for watching The Wild Viewer. I'm The Wild Viewer, and you just saw me review a thing.